Hi everybody, so since the time it's taken me to go and sort out the washing and have a bit of lunch, I pretty much lost a lot of light, so I can only apologise in advance that the light is a little bit more terrible in this video. So, today, with much excitement, I get to actually finally show you my deck that I made. The reason it came about, I'll just bore you with some chat for a second, do bear with, is because there is I have not had a single problem with any of the Oracle decks that I've worked with. I find that all the ones I have, for the most part, are amazing. The Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, fantastic. The Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild, amazing. And I've found them to be helpful and poignant and all that. And it was because of the Isis Oracle, and it was a meditation in the book that I did, that on that meditation I came to the realization that I have a lot of things that I wanted to work through, and while there is tons and tons of Oracle decks that are more than up for the job, I decided actually I needed something that was a little bit more for me. So about 6 months ago, maybe just over now, I spoke to my friend Chris, who is a graphic designer, and asked him if he could turn my visions into reality. Because I was okay. I started building my own tarot deck, and I shared a few images of the progress of that on Eclectic Tarot, and they were good, but I found it hard to, once I'd created them, to connect with them. So I thought I found myself having to think of another way, like to distance myself from it. So all the ideas are my own. The images that we used, for the most part, I found and asked to be used, but I just feel so much more connected to them knowing that I didn't make them, like physically put them together. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone. Yeah. So anyway, they are called the Rosa spiritual cards. I named them Rosa after my designer's late mother, and I also asked him to create the backing of the cards. I said, I don't care what it looks like. I said, I just want you to design it, and I said, and ideally I want you to use a rose. I said, but whatever colour rose you want to use. He didn't obviously know what I was planning, but I gifted him one of the decks. He's not of the tarot or oracle community at all. He's just a bloke living his life, works in an office, also does design work ad hoc for people. So, and that's why it's called that, because I think he really helped me get what I wanted. So that's why I did that. So they are called the Rosa spiritual cards. And I say spiritual rather than oracle, because for me that's what it was all about, was the journey and what they're for. So this is just a video to show you the cards and, ideally my thinking. Obviously I've got so much planned for them for myself, and the journey we're going to take together. I'm even writing my own little book to go with them. So without further ado, I'll show you. So there's 32 cards in the deck. Not the most massive amount, but it works for me. So they're large. I wanted large, and they are large. So this is the back. So it is computerized, as you can only imagine. I like my collagey computerized decks. So you can see the size difference. If I could just compare to the Isis Oracle, because she's right there as she always is. So thinner and taller, although that's a very good representation. I'm all fingers and thumbs today. So let me just have another sip of tea and we'll crack on. Sorry. Okay. So you won't be able to see in the light, but the bottom where the words are slightly different. So there's a dark red, a dark green and black. They are for the specific areas that I put these categories in, basically. I believe it was spiritual cards, growth cards, and growth. Meh. Gone. It'll come to me. So this is guides. Ooh. So I've had to have a kingfisher in there because I feel a kingfisher is my guide. This is intuition. I would like to point out all these images were from Pixabay, and the wonderful community at Pixabay, they let you download their images for free. You just have to buy them a coffee if you want to, so that's excellent. So that's where all these images have come from. So this is intuition. I do apologise, there is a bit of a glare going on here. This is temple. So some of the images have been really manipulated. Oh, I keep hitting the bloody desk, sorry. Have been really manipulated. Others are literally just the photo and the word, because sometimes that was it. I saw it and I knew. So this one, I'll leave that one because there's a story behind that one. This is sacrifice, and yeah, it's a very in-your-face sacrifice image. But because it was my deck, I wasn't really looking for, you know, the mystery, you know. I wasn't trying to be, not that there's anything wrong with it, I'm not saying that, not at all. Not that I didn't want to be like clever about it. It's just like sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean to me? So you have a woman here who you can't quite see. She's got a photo there of her partner and a baby. She's looking at them as she's, you know, barely got any food to feed herself. To me, that was sacrifice. That's why it was chosen. This is a voyage. Okay. Yes, that is a car in space on the nebula. I think it's the Horse Nebula, because you can see the horse on the other side. Ghost. That one as well. Lost. Love. I love the tranquil feeling of this, suggesting that lost is not always bad. Realms is one of my favourite cards. Got the white horse, the blue trees, the city rising up into the skyline. I love that card. This is belief. Shine is the next card. Look how shiny she is. She's shining. She's shining from within. This is shadows. Now this card is a darker card. It's, you know, you can't really see too much because it's shadows, but hopefully you'll be able to see enough. Yeah, there you go. So I wanted it to be darker because it's shadows. This is silence. This is the first one he ever made. No, let's see if you can see it. You can just about see the musical notes coming through. This is ambition. This is wait for that one. This, I think they're all one of my favourite cards, but this certainly is because we have two. This is called Smile. And that's something, obviously you see me in a video, I'm smiling, but it is something that I struggle with a lot, is smiling. A lot of the time there is a smile on my face, but it's not. So I have the two most beautiful smiles that I could actually find. Have this beautiful young girl just smiling at the camera, and then we have an axolotl swimming in the air above her, smiling. Yes, it can swim in the air above her. Okay, this is release. As you can see, this one really is just a photo. And I do appreciate that it could be construed as quite a dark release, because it kind of looks like somebody is perhaps drowning and they're having a release from life. That was not the intention, so it's not the intention. This is patience. I think perhaps, again, this is very, for me, very simple, in your face, patience. But I wanted some of the cards to be uncluttered, just in your face. Here's the message, you know. So that's one of them. His transcendence. I love this one. And yes, this model is on Pixabay. You've probably seen her around. She's fabulous. This is Dream. Now I appreciate that this was a bit bright, all a bit white, but it was a dream. It's a dream. So you have a castle nestled inked amongst the clouds. You have a Pegasus. No, you have the Pegasus. This is Pegasus going through, and then you have the massive moon. So I really love my dream cards so much. This one I really like. I don't think, it's going to be to everyone's taste, but, it works for me and that's what it's for. But it's called Hide. And I asked my designer to find a mask and stick it over her face with the intention that it looks, that you can tell that it's just a mask that's been plonked over her head. That was what I wanted. So I was very pleased with that. This is Pain. That's how I feel last couple of days with everything going on in the world. That's exactly how I see things. Ooh. Start. This is Time. This guy's just freaking amazing. And then Play. I love this. Past. Vision. And the Circle, which is the card I'm currently working with. So those are those ones, and I've saved a couple so I can just have a quick chat about them. So the next one is Devotion, and this is my favourite, one of my favourites. Again, they're all very favourites, but it just makes me happy. My designer did a fantastic job of capturing this. I was so pleased. Okay, now I have 4 left. So the next one is Happiness, and because it is my deck, what makes me the most happy is an open fire, reading a book, and my dog. And that is exactly what my designer gave me. He gave me a very roaring fire, a book, a comfy chair, and my Poochie. That is my Alice in my deck. I love that. So I'm very pleased. Okay, so let's do Growth now. I may sneeze. Don't sneeze, you're on camera. Got away with it. Now, the Growth card is a bit different. Major props to my designer, because I said to him, okay, I want somebody that just looks like me, I'll show you. I'll explain as I show you. So this is Growth. So what we basically have there is a young man, hands in his pockets, kind of like, meh, everything's cool, I'm posing in this coat. He is in a graveyard, and there is a very digitally added blue egg. And also, you can see the changing there, the light and the dark. And it's hard to explain, really, but I thought with Growth, it's never an easy, straightforward process. Growth can be painful, Growth can be bitty, and not always, just smooth, straight line. So I asked him to create this card in the idea that it looked odd. And that's not me just saying it. It's like, no, that card came out odd. How can I make this work? No, I wanted it to look odd, because Growth can look odd. So that's why, the egg is digital and just stuck in there. That's why he's in a graveyard, and that's why he's kind of just like, he's just getting on with things. So for me, it's probably one of the more interesting cards, but this is my opinion. Okay, now I leave that card till last because that's my heavy card. So this is Ascension. So what we have here is a ghost-like being walking up the stairs to the temple, and her wings are growing as she gets closer to the temple. And then she stops before she goes into the temple. And now this card came about for ascension purposes, but the reason it's underwater is because when I think of ascension, when I just like think of ascension, not like really give it some thought, I think of Stargate Atlantis, because they talked about the ancestors ascending, and obviously Atlantis was under the water. While in the program it was a ship, Atlantis sunk, and that is exactly what I wanted. The ghost-like angel figure represents ascension, and then obviously, you know, you have Atlantis, the mystery, and also, you know, my favourite program. So damn right I was going to stick that in there. And then this one, this is fear. Now, as you can see, we have a superimposed scorpion on the back of this woman's neck. But if you can just see here, you probably can't because my light is shocking today. She's just staring at a wall. She's staring dead ahead at a wall. And for some reason, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, yeah. And the reason I have a scorpion on her neck was really just to represent the fact that there's something on her back, which also came from the Doctor Who episode with Donna, where there's something on her back. And it creates fear because she doesn't know what it is. So that's why I went for the scorpion, because it reminded me more of the bug that sits on her back and the fear that that creates for her, because she just doesn't understand. And that was it. The woman here, we don't understand the fear of why she's just sat there staring at a wall. But we, you know, and then there's the fear of the scorpion. But we know, you know, all right, scorpions can sting. But this one's not there to sting. It's just something she can't see, and it's something she can't understand. That's that one. And my last card is one of the biggest things that I deal with. This is father. Is because of the loss of my father and the circumstances and all that jazz surrounding it. So I this is still a big part of my inner turmoil. So I created a card. Okay, I created a card with a father and daughter that are like, oh, I love you. And, you know, and that was my childhood. So that is not me, nor is that my father. They are Pixabay people. But yeah, so I have the dove to represent the hope, and you cannot see it on here. I'll try and get as close as I can, but I really don't think you can. No, in the white, like in the space behind them, there is actually a clock. There's a clock face, and you can't see it. Just to remind us that time moves on, and time is precious. So, yeah, so we finally made it, and I couldn't be more thrilled. To be completely honest with you. Sorry, I'm just going to put the circle back on my altar because that's what I'm working with at the moment. Yeah, so I'm so pleased, and you know, obviously a bit nervous of showing you all, because it's been something that I've been working on for so long, and it's so close to my own heart. You know, putting it out there is a little bit daunting in case somebody, you know, says, "Wow, that's a load of shit." Meh, that's your opinion, I suppose. That is also another problem with, I think, creating your own deck. I'm not thick-skinned enough to send it into the world at all, because it means too much to me to put it out there, and then somebody, you know, somebody who I don't know, you know, it doesn't even matter what everyone else's opinions are, but you know what I mean? You just put it out there, and then somebody sends you a message, and well, that's absolutely shocking. I'd just be like, oh man. That's right in the feels, and I don't have that kind of skin, unfortunately. But there you go. I do about me. I mean, if you left me a comment going, "My God, your teeth are bucked," I'd be like, "Yeah," and you know what I mean. That sort of thing. That's fine. That's me. But something I've created, nah, I couldn't take that. But there you go. So now I can shut up about it. So now in the videos, you won't hear me going, you know, oh, well, I've created my own deck, and oh, yes, that reminds me of my deck. There it is. That is my deck. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'm probably just gonna have a little cry. Thank you guys, and I'm sure I'll be back because I can't stop buying them. So, much love.